All right, John, Ash, we are here for our most controversial system that I've chosen to cover as part of this top 10 series because, well, let's be honest, the Switch 2 did just come out back in, what was it, June?
June.
Yeah.
June. So it hasn't even been 6 months yet. It is still a very young system, but there are still a decent amount of games for it. And I think enough games on it that shouldn't be discounted when it comes to the overall best game of all time. I think they should at least be in consideration because the idea here isn't that we find the best games in the system. I mean, I think people have a general idea of that. Maybe not. We'll see how people feel about it as we go into this. But I this is more a idea. I'm doing this more so we have a more games to go towards the greatest of all time rather than definitively saying these are the best on Switch 2 or anything like that. You know,
Of course.
it's more about that end game than the current battle, I guess is the best way to put it.
Sure.
And Switch 2's also received a couple of games which I think I would consider to be some of the best of all time, but didn't make it on their original systems. So there's a second chance for a few of them. But when you look at the exclusive lineup, it's pretty slim. But I still think we can find a pretty solid 10 in there, though.
Oh yeah, I absolutely believe that. It's also interesting from another aspect. It's a Nintendo list that's guaranteed not to be overwhelmed by Nintendo games.
Right.
First time ever. Unless Welcome Tour and Dragon Drive and Mario
every
Party
single
Switch 2
Nintendo
edition
published game is in this list.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but yeah, I mean, we've talked at length about how we feel about the Switch 2 in the past. There's plenty of other discussions about that. So I don't think there's too much of a need to go over this. I think it's generally going to be just interesting to see what made the list. So let's just get right to it and get our stats for now. So despite the newness, it did get 621 votes. Now, I will say this right now, looking through and tallying, there's a lot of smartasses in here. So I don't know if they should all count. There's a lot, but there was a lot of smartasses making very super original jokes, guys. Yeah, those were like, man, you were so original with how you did this. Also, a lot of votes for games that did not count because either they were solely Switch or just not, or Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, stuff that's not out yet. I don't count those.
And we've had a lot of big Switch 2 games already appear on the list. So like Silk Song's there, Hades 2 is on the list, Cyberpunk's on the list. It really does dwindle it down, doesn't it?
It really does. It kind of it makes for a potentially interesting list overall because again 621 total votes, and after taking out all of the games that do not count, I kept in ones that already made it just because it is on the system. That's just, I've counted the way in the past before, but 73 different games.
I was questioning whether there'd be a top 50, so that's kind of impressive.
We have enough for a top 50.
I didn't think we'd make it that far with the 1-2 punch of it being so young and games that already won in previous lists not counting here. That's wild. Okay, should be interesting. Well, not should be, will be interesting. Yeah.
So though people like there were 10 games for the Switch. No, there were 73. So there you go, with more coming. So there we are. Honestly, obviously the big thing here for a lot of people is, have you just not been able to play 10 games in the system at this point because everybody's replaying their old stuff or only have so much money to get other things or certain games. But still, recommendations. That's what these are all about. Like what games should you be paying attention to as of right now as you're waiting for the next big Nintendo release. So let's say we get to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Also,
go.
It's very funny to have 73 games. I think the Wii U had like 300 total, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'd have to look through to see like how it compares to other ones that had a whole bunch. Like for example, to put it comparatively, when we did the Xbox Series X list, that was only 243 votes, but it only covered 124 different games.
Yeah. And we're not far off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that. I think that's more of a damnation against the Series X. Wii U, nearly 1,500 votes, 181 different games.
Yeah.
So the Switch 2 is doing okay when it comes to that sort of thing. It's modern compared to other Nintendo systems, or even just other modern systems in that vein. So, granted, our audience has a big effect on that, but that's just the way
right,
based on this data.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to our number 10 Switch 2 game so far. Starting out with 435 points. John, Ash, what could it be?
Okay. I'll go with somewhat of a pity vote, because this isn't the best version of the game. But Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
Okay. I'll throw one out there for our buddy Steve and say Fantasy Life I.
Okay. This is a good chance for Fantasy Life I.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
All right. At number 10, Ash, you're right that it has fantasy in the title.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles.
Well, that deserves it too. I can't be too mad about that.
I was debating on this one because
I was wondering if this counts. Yeah.
Technically, Final Fantasy Tactics already made the list on the PSP, but I think the versions are different enough. There's a lot of gameplay changes to the Ivalice Chronicles, and there's a lot of there's an addition of voice acting and so forth that I feel like it is a different version, unless like we want to have one supersede the other. Because
let's let live audience decide, because I kind of feel like they aren't that different. Like there's changes to them, but they're still the same game.
It's still the same overall game. I'm actually playing it right now, and I will say the new voice acting really elevates an already great game even higher. It's really good, but it's still that same overall great game.
The core is there, but it's definitely been changed. My thought process behind this is, do we pull another PSP game, or do we pull another Switch 2 game? Because personally, I find Ivalice Chronicles to be the better version. It's the more complete version. It has both versions.
It did remove some of the new content they added for War of the Lions, though. The 2 new job classes, and
you got rid of some of you do lose some of those job classes and whatnot. But I still think Ivalice Chronicles is the more complete, definitive version.
I feel
I would agree.
I think we've discluded games that have done more while being the same game.
The only repeat game that we have on here so far that I left on there is the difference, the Ocarina of Time and Ocarina of Time 3D. I think there's enough differences between those.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think this is that big. But maybe we should give PSP the upper end and give that game a new number, whatever it was. Yeah.
So let me take a quick look at that, if you excuse me. But as we're talking, since this is making the list, let's go ahead and talk about it, because Tactics is brilliant. We talked a little bit about War of the Lions, and Ivalice Chronicles, I fully believe, is the best version.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it doesn't do everything like Ash was saying, but it does a lot in there. And it's interesting adding voice acting to a sprite-based game that you've spent a lot of time with, because the voices in your head are already quite different to what you expect to hear. And so it's a very high order to live up to that. But everyone in that game is just so damn talented, like really fantastic acting. Yeah.
It is like a top-notch voice track. It's crazy. And I also screenshots really didn't do it justice leading up to release, but I initially thought the softer look wasn't going to be quite what I wanted it to be, or be quite right for the Ivalice Chronicles. But then when you play it, especially on a big screen, it's almost like Square has gone in and given it like this almost watercolor-esque look to the whole, like almost like a painterly look. You know what I mean? It's softer for sure, but it looks really nice, and it's a slight change to the overall look of the game in a really cool way.
Yeah, if you zoom in on the sprites, it's kind of like I don't even know the term. Like, you can see like grid paper kind of look to them. Like, you can sort of see the edges in there.
Yeah,
it's interesting because the sprites are a little bit rounded, but I think because of all the adjustments they've done to them, it doesn't look bad. It's actually quite nice looking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah. So by this technicality, number 10 for the Switch 2 is going to remain as Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. Okay. Meanwhile, everything gets shifted up for the PSP, and our new number 10 PSP game of all time is Daxter.
Sure. Daxter's pretty good.
Sure.
Why not?
Give Daxter the
Why not? Why
give
not?
Daxter the buy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good. People like their Jack and Daxter stuff. So why not?
Yeah.
It was very impressive at the time. Like it looked like Jack and Daxter on the PS2, but in the palm of your hands. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. So let me just note that one down. But yeah, so as for my thoughts, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it when it comes to Ivalice Chronicles. It is the voice acting does elevate everything. The script is very solid. I like the new translation. It really is just, to me, the best version. I don't mind losing, the Final Fantasy 12 stuff or the new classes. The existing classes are just fine, and I think it balances it quite well. So there we go. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles at number 10. So let's go ahead and move on. That was a weird one to start with, but it shouldn't be that complicated anymore. That was just the one weird one. It's like, what do I do with this? But all right. Let's go ahead and move on to number 9, beating out Final Fantasy Tactics by 4 points.
Okay.
Ooh, close. Narrow.
Yeah. I'll go with an exclusive, but it's an underdog exclusive. Dear Me, I Was.
Okay. That's a good one. I might go with might be a little too high, but I guess I might give Fast Fusion a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little too high though, or low, or however you want to say it.
All right. At number 9, Ash. Once again, you're just off the mark.
No way.
This time is Fantasy Life I, the girl who started playing.
Are you serious? That's so funny.
Fantastic though. This is a huge contender for the best game that's released this year. Really, really, really good. And there's so many low expectations going into it because Level 5 haven't done anything in years, and then they come out of the Grid Works with a game that's better than the original, which is the last thing I was expecting. And it's so addictive and fun. And the Switch version already, it was good, but it had performance issues. The Switch 2 just comes in with one of the cheapest upgrades is 30 cents or something dumb.
Oh, it's stupid cheap.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful. They did a really great job with this.
It looks really, really nice to play. I have not played the Switch 2 version myself. I played and reviewed actually the original way back on 3DS, but I have not gotten around to trying out the new Switch 2 version. But I've heard nothing but great things.
Fantasy Life comes across to me as just the ultimate definition of a sleeper hit because, I helped Ash do that review back in the day.
Oh, because I couldn't capture from my 3DS, right?
Yeah, so I helped you put it together, and to me, I can only grab the barest minimum footage in order to work it because you had the game, we weren't anywhere near each other. I can't capture it either because we only had the one code. So it's a very, in my opinion, kind of shoddy, at least visually review of it. Your actual text is great. I think, but it also blew up. It did extremely well.
Did really well. Weirdly.
Way beyond our expectations. It's like, no, people got into this game, and it's easy to see why. It going from class to class to class and having what kind of game do you want to play? Do you want to be more of a blacksmith and do that whole shopkeep thing? Do you want to be more combat focused? Do you want to be more farming focused? You can do any of that. And so just for Fantasy Life, I had to expand beyond that and have all these elements and to still wind up good. And it's going to be a backhanded, no, this is going to be just a straight up insult to still be able to do this despite Inafune's involvement with Comset.
Yeah,
well, he
Good on you guys.
He didn't leave. He left right at the
wrong.
end, so maybe
He
they
left
salvaged
right at the
everything.
end. So I don't.
once
Who
he
knows
left.
how much he's involved in this, how much it
Yeah.
was affected or anything like that. But the fact that the core idea of this game is still excellent, and this really was the talk of the town for quite a while.
It was.
When it released.
It was a really good seller too. It's sold. I think it might have sold nearly 2 million by the end, which is crazy good for a game like this. And I didn't think it'd do that great, mostly because they signed out of Nintendo publishing it because it was going to have a physical release globally, but then they upped the price and published it themselves. And I thought, okay, that's a death sentence. But clearly, Steam was where they found a lot of success, and the Switch 2 launch as well. So yeah, it did really great. Just defied all expectations.
Yeah, I that Steam version might have been the big thing that really helped just expand upon it, because people are aware of it from the 3DS, but they move on to other systems. It's like, oh yeah, I remember Fantasy Life, and you check it out. I was like, oh yeah, this still kicks ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, good on Fantasy Life. And again, a game like Fantasy Life is the reason I wanted to do stuff like that, because we missed out on Fantasy Life on 3DS because there's so many great games on 3DS that it just couldn't quite make it. But hey, we got Fantasy Life I.
Yeah.
So
there we are.
All right, let's continue on to our number 8 Switch 2 game of all time so far, beating out Fantasy Life I by 18 points.
Okay.
Another squeaker.
Yeah, pretty close.
Split Fiction does not count, right? That's been on the previous list.
No, Split Fiction has not made it yet.
Oh, okay. You know what? Then I think I might throw Split Fiction out there.
Nice. So far, we've had a PSP game come back. So I'm going to put in another one, a 3DS game. I was kind of surprised Bravely Default didn't make it onto the 3DS
my other one.
list.
Yeah.
So let's throw that out there. Bravely Default HD.
Because Bravely Second's better.
I didn't make it either.
I know. Neither made it. Yeah.
3DS was really competitive.
Yeah. That was a bloodbath.
At number 8, John, you pulled an Ash because last time you got it right. At number 8, Dear Me, I Was.
Damn it. Cool ass game, though.
I'm glad to see this made it.
Yeah, it's really, really cool game. It's funny that it's a contender for the best game of all time, but it's just a really neat game. Artistically wonderful. It's like an hour long, just tells a really endearing story. But it's not interactive. You know, it's like a wordless visual novel. You're just sort of watching these beautiful scenes unravel with just gorgeous music. The only interaction is like eating. So like you eat different meals throughout your life. You start off eating like, fruit as a baby, and then she has some unhinged meals at the end. It's like sushi and some strange drink. I can't remember. It's like milk or sushi and milk or something strange.
Sushi and milk. All right.
What a strange woman she is. But it's a really touching story though. It's something you really have to try for yourself rather than having anything set to you. But yeah, I want so many more system work games like this, because they're all, another Code, Hotel Dusk. This entire style just rocks, and I want way more of it.
Yeah, a lot of us, like when we saw the style of Dear Me, I Was, thought it was going to be something involving Hotel Dusk, and who knows, maybe this style will come back for a remake of that, or something, or just something original that does this. Adds more gameplay into it. It feels like an experiment, and the funny thing is I find more value in this than I did with Nintendo's Pikmin short that they put out.
Yeah.
Oh,
this comes across as more
disagree.
Artistic and mature and interesting than here's a baby interacting with weird things, and all of a sudden now here's a Pikmin involved with it, where I was left feeling nothing. And just I have not played Dear Me, I Was, but from every little bit I've seen of it, yeah, this game would hit me.
Yeah, it will definitely emotionally hit you. Yeah, it's funny on the top 10 because it's not like a system-defining game. It's just a really nice one that you should play. But like when you think back on the Switch 2, you're probably not gonna come back to this one. But it's a really, really sweet one. And we need more games like this, ones that just aren't afraid to break the norm and just use this medium to deliver a message in a way that isn't just through voice or through dialogue. or even through gameplay. It's just a really cool way. And if it were made into an anime or a manga, it wouldn't quite hit the same. Like there's still something about the medium that makes it work.
Man, I this one is definitely on my list. I wanted to play it as soon as it was announced, and hearing everything you said about it, John, and just the vibes you say it goes for, sounds like also people in our live audience chat agree with you. It's definitely a crying game. I love some crying games. So like you, Derek, this one is on my list. I want to play it, experience it before year's end, which should be quite easy given that it's only like an hour long.
Put this 40 minutes aside. It's like just watching an episode of something.
Oh, it's
it's flipping through Netflix type thing. All right, let's continue on and find out what our number 7 Switch 2 game so far is. Beating out Dear Me I Was, and time for our first big jump here, by 160-ish points.
Okay,
that's a big jump.
Anything come to mind for you?
Man, I feel like I'm gonna not guess Split Fiction or something and find out I was one off again.
I mean, there's still a bunch of games here. I'll go out and say Bravely Default again, because I feel like this is kind of the place for it. It's not like the best game on Switch 2, but it is a really good game.
Yeah, and I keep kind of just I'm getting Split Fiction-y vibes still. I'm still getting those vibrations, so I'll stick with that.
All right. At number 7, Ash, you're just a little too ahead of the game, because at number 7, it's Fast Fusion.
Oh, man.
I've got all the right pieces, but I'm putting them in the wrong slots. I'm glad I made it though. Yeah,
I've not played a fast game, but they do kind of. I feel like this is a very deserved slot, especially for a Nintendo system this early in, because there's always a fast game right at launch, but obviously by the end of the system, it's kind of buried by a bunch of other games. So this really does define the beginning of a new Nintendo system.
It feels weird without a Shinen game. This one let me down a little bit. So I love the core of it. Adding like a jump button is fantastic. And just like the other fast games, you have to gradually unlock the speed mode. So it starts a bit slow, and then you work up and it becomes really fast, which is great. I think this one feels a little too similar to RMX in its track design. But
there are a lot of returning tracks from RMX straight up. Yeah.
I think the big kicker for me though is there's no online at all, which like Fast Racing League had, RMX had. And with the replacement to online, it's just game share. So it's just playing like 2-player with a friend. And that feels like a massive step back. I have really fond memories playing the Switch game online at launch, and that's just not an option. So there's some weird stuff, but it is really good at its core. There's just some strange things missing though.
I wonder if it's one of those cases where, because there's always been those rumors about Nintendo not really sending out enough dev kits or maybe getting them late. I wonder if this is all the time they had to. They couldn't get other things set up for it.
That's probably it.
So it's just like we have to port in old tracks and things like that, or whatever that idea is. And like, okay, we have a core concept, but we can't really go beyond that. We can't really get online. It's a shame. It's a shame, because I think it having online would make for a nice alternative for Mario Kart World players.
Exactly. And I think you can feel that early pressure as well, because it launched with fewer tracks than RMX and then got some free track updates like not long after launch. And they kept saying things like maybe later we'll add 120 hertz modes. It definitely felt like they weren't quite done. But that's the plague of most Switch 2 developers right now. And
I feel like maybe people will still come back to it or whatnot, but I feel like maybe it could have held on longer, except I think Air Riders might eat some of its lunch when it comes out.
So many racing games.
Yeah. And we still got the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds coming.
Exactly.
I do think that by the time Shinen were to maybe come back and add online or add maybe another bundle of new tracks, might be a little bit too late, unfortunately, and it's too bad, because there is a good core game here. As John said, it is a step down from Fast RMX, unfortunately, in a couple of key ways. But if you've ever played a fast game, they're great technical showpieces for a Nintendo system's launch, and there's fun to be had here for sure, especially if you haven't played a game in this series before.
Yeah. I don't want to say like just be negative. It is a really good game. Like the core is good, and that jump button does add a lot.
It does. Yeah.
There's a lot of like diverging tracks, and sometimes you got to risk it and jump over like a risky area to get those orbs and power yourself up. So there's a lot of fun to be had, but it feels more single player focused than RMX did, which is that's a big shame.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that's the weird situation with the Switch 2, and I think a good argument for why it's this is something we come back to after 2, 3, 4 years to then take a temperature of where the Switch 2 is at. But I think there's still, again, there's value in seeing where we're at launch and maybe even comparing to see how many of these games actually still stand the test of time as time goes on. But yeah, for now, Fast Fusion at number 7. Speaking of Sonic Crossworlds, Ash, real quick before we move on to the next one, there was a lot of votes for that because technically people have played it, but I decided not to include it because we don't have a Switch 2 version yet.
It's such a shame.
I mean,
not a Switch 2 game yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's
exactly.
It's not out. Like, yes, it's multi-platform. It's coming. The game's good, but is the Switch 2 version good? Would you still vote for it? It's that unknown factor that keeps me from it. So
it's a shame. You're wondering, it's a great game.
Yeah, honestly, with the amount of votes for Sonic Crossworlds, it probably could have made the top 10 if I allowed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It would have deserved it.
But we're not allowing it.
We're not allowing it. So instead, we're going to number 6, which was allowed and beat out Fast Fusion by 18 points.
Okay. Pokemon Legends wouldn't count at this point, would it?
Pokemon Legends would count because it is out. Because I did the poll came out last week, which is the release week of Pokemon Legends, and I feel like the way I've seen people say I've beat it already is like, yeah, people can form an opinion if they beat the game already in that amount of time.
Okay. So this isn't the spot for it though. Trails, I'll say. Trails at this point.
Oh, that's a really good one. Oh man. It feels a bit too early for that. It's probably too niche. But I'll give Raito Remastered a shout. I know there was a big groundswell around that game when it did come to Switch 2.
Sure.
So why not? Yeah. It's probably not, but
it's all a lot of people like this is our chance to get Raito in there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fans. So yeah. All right. At number 6. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
I just saw Natalie say that, and I was like, that's a really good guess. Yeah,
people need to search their souls a bit better, I think. Yeah, because there aren't that many games on the Switch 2, but there are far better choices. And I don't even dislike Welcome Tour. I think it's a neat game.
That's what I think. Feel like it's neat. It's fine. It's neat. I have no desire to actually pick it up. And I look down at the stuff that just barely missed the top 10. It's like, those games deserve it way more than Welcome Tour.
Like, I'm not a hater of Welcome Tour. I played the entire
not at all.
thing.
I think that is literally us seeing the Nintendo effect. It's a Nintendo game. I picked it up. It's one of the few games I played, so it's going to count. I think that's what it is. Is that I played Bonanza. I played Mario Kart World, and I played Welcome Tour. So it gets the number 3 slot, which then gets it 8 points, which is way more than some of these other games that are further down for people who played more games in the system. Right. So it's a weakness of the system for us of people not being able to play a wide breadth of games with it being such a new system. So
yeah, I'll tell you what I like about this game. I think the trivia is quite cool, actually. If you're into it. If you're not, then it's probably quite boring. But I think it was cool to tell you like how backwards compatibility works. Like just pull that curtain aside and tell you like it's converting the code on the fly. That stuff's cool. It's cool to go into the hidden underground room and see all the hardware under the case. Like it feels quite un-Nintendo, and that stuff's neat. There's mouse mini games. Switch 2 doesn't really have much of a mouse showcase right now, and there's some cool ones, especially dual mouse ones. That stuff's cool. But it doesn't really get beyond that though. It's just kind of like, that's pretty cool. It's maybe you'll show a friend, if you got a Switch 2, maybe you'll show them what the system can do with a few of these games. But there's just so many more games deserving of it though.
Yeah.
I think this game really shines if you have someone to play it with too. I played it with my wife, and we both just had a really good time taking turns on some of the different mini games and doing the tech demos, and especially taking turns on some of the harder like metal, like the 2-3 metal mini games where you're like, some of those time limits are really tight, and it's fun. Like I think some of the discourse around this game got kind of caught up in the it's $10, it should be free, and sure, there's a whole debate about that. Yeah, I mean, probably should have been free. But you know what? I got like a good 10 hours of enjoyment out of it, I would say. And if I'm paying $1 for an hour of having a good time playing a game with my wife, then that's worth it for me. I don't really mind.
And that's completely fair. But it's also one of those things where you look at, this is a showcase of the new system and showing what's behind the scenes and how it all goes. And then you just look across the aisle at Astro's Playroom, who's doing exactly the same thing. And when you look at the two, it's like,
no, Astro
Nintendo got smoked, and this is again, Astro's Playroom is free, so
no, Astro's Playroom is the standard bearer for a game like an experience like this for sure, and the value there, it's just insane compared to something like this, which was not free.
It's quite on Nintendo too, because like Astro is a very Nintendo game where it's a hardware showcase that tours you around the system and it's interactive. Whereas Welcome Tour is like the opposite of that. It's very hands off. It's a museum.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a museum.
Yeah, which that's not worthless. I think a museum's kind of a cool idea, but it's very un-Nintendo idea though.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there is fun to be had. It is only $10, but yeah, that's really what it comes down to. It's just it's not very Nintendo-like, and a lot of people get on us for sometimes the game gets in that we're not particularly fond of in the top 10, and we kind of don't sing his praises as much. But there's stuff to enjoy, but it's maybe not the best showcase of the system compared to. I'm looking literally at the top 15, and like those would be all better choices.
Yeah. So. I kind of thought its ceiling would be number 8. So, and I'm glad I didn't get it higher than it was, because I mean, being number 3 or something just because it was one of the few games you could play at launch would be a little bit silly. So I thought 8 would be the ceiling, but 6 is that's an okay placement too.
But you can now vote for it as the best game of all time.
Yeah, that's
true. There you go. Just what you wanted. All right. Well, let's go ahead and continue on to our top 5 Switch 2 games so far. I think these are all excellent choices. And so let's see what number 5 is, beating out Welcome Tour by 24 points. I want to say 24 points.
5 isn't actually enough for all the games I have in my mind right now, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'll go with Hitman, World of Assassination at number 5.
I think I'm going to go to one that was guessed earlier, but maybe this feels like the right placement for it. I'm going to Bravely Default, back to Bravely Default HD.
All right. At number 5, Ash, you are right that it was one that was said earlier.
God damn it.
And John, you're the one who said it earlier. In fact, you said it last time. Number 5, Trails in the Sky, first chapter.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Derrick, you take us away with this one.
That's funny. I'm taking this away. I've only played the demo, but I having only played the demo, which is still 10 hours, the entire prologue. It hasn't quite opened up entirely yet, but it is about to open up when you get to that point. This demo, this game has made me a believer, because people have talked about Trails for a while. And after playing that demo, which I really do encourage for you all to try out, there's something special here. You can just feel it in the way that this world is constructed and the way that the gameplay is. And it's different gameplay. It's taking gameplay from later in the series and applying it back to this one. But seeing like comparisons of the screenshots of how it originally looked, where it is a top-down sprite-based type game, very much of the, if you've ever played East Origins, that art style is probably the best way to describe it. And then just to see how it came to this like utterly gorgeous Tales of looking game. And it's the perfect place to enter, because this is the start of the Trails series. There's a lot of games to it, but you can just ease yourself into it. You have this nice world. That has voice acting across the board, and it's about the community almost, because after every event, you can talk to the people and you can see their lives play out. Whether it's like the two people have a crush on each other and then they finally start to date, or various things like that. And even I saw observations of people that characters that don't have dialogue, but they still move positions, and you can sort of infer a story of what they're up to. So it has this coziness to it, and you really get a sense of this is what this town is like. And it feels so long to go around and check out everything the first time, but after the like second or third rotation of wanting to talk to everybody, because I wanted to talk to everybody, it's like, oh yeah, I know this place, I go there, do this, take care of this, take care of that, and it's just enjoyable. The only thing that made me a little unsure of, and I cleared up pretty quickly, is the despite really liking Stephanie Sheh as a voice actor, it felt a little rough at the beginning with her voice acting as Estelle, but she evens out a little bit. I think she's got a little too shrill in the beginning, and it evens out as time goes on, and it becomes enjoyable. And I mean, Johnny Young Bosch is always a solid choice when it comes to, protagonist voice. Yeah, it's one of those games I really want to pick up and play more of. I've found myself just sort of engrossed with my mind's just kind of drifting towards Trails every little bit. Every time I try to kind of think of it, I do want to get into the series, because I've heard it's just so has that kind of depth the entire time, where you just get involved with the people, get involved with the characters, the plot get bigger and grander as time goes on. And Trails in the Sky serves as a perfect jumping on point. And as from my understanding, the end of the game does indicate, yes, they're doing the same thing with second chapter as well, because this does end in a cliffhanger.
I've got this earmarked as a Christmas present, because I really wanted to play Trails for like 20 years at this point. Like I remember looking in on like forums, on PSP forums, and seeing how many people were raving about Trails. It's like, I want to try this one day. And then the year slipped away, and more games kept releasing, and it got to this point where there was like 50 of them. And I was, I don't know, what do I do? So this is kind of the perfect point to actually get in and try. But
especially because, as far as my understanding, we're getting close to the end of the series. Like they said, it's about 80% done. I think
which is wild. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, John.
That's okay.
Oh, do we interrupt you? Oh, good. Go ahead.
We're all too polite. You go ahead, Ash.
All right.
Yeah, you guys.
This one's a weird one for me, because I played several hours of the demo, and I was really excited when I found out it had a demo, because like you, John, I've always kind of been interested and admired Trails in the Sky from afar. And when I saw, trailers of the remake, I was like, man, on paper, this looks like 150% an Ash Paulson game. I'm like, I gotta play this. It's anime with a capital A. It's got this, really vibrant, colorful world to explore. The characters are immediately endearing, and it's got a fun soundtrack. But something didn't. I played probably 5 hours of the demo, and I really enjoyed it until I got to the battle system. And something lost me with the battle system. And I do like that you can choose between turn-based and real-time action, but it seems like you're afforded more, you're afforded more advantages in one mode versus another. And it just doesn't quite feel like the game was balanced around both. But now, of course, I only played the first few hours, so it's hard to say that extrapolates across the entire game. But it got to the point where I went out into the first, or I should say second major area, where you're starting to have regular monster encounters and stuff. And I just kind of fell off it with the battle system. I don't know why. And I kind of want to go back and give it another shot, because I was immediately into the world, really interested in at least the two lead characters so far. And it just seems like something that would be my jam, but something about the battle system just lost me.
That's interesting, because I really dug the battle system. I was completely invested. There's, basically, from my understanding, the way I sort of treated it is that the action gameplay is to just take care of enemies that are below your level, so you don't have to worry about going into any complex thing, or setting you up for an advantage going to the turn-based combat.
I see.
And that's where I kind of kept them at. And by taking that method, I definitely enjoyed it. The one thing I've heard from longtime fans of the series is that the translation is different. And apparently with this new translation that's done by a different company, some of the terms from later games are not the same. So they're a little unsure about whether this is a great, for hardcore fans, like it might cause confusions later on where you had one term to start out with here, and then you get to those later games and the term is now different. So that's sort of the one thing that they're a little unsure about. But I don't know how big of a deal that is because I've not played the rest. But I feel like it's mostly fine. I think we'll be able to mostly pick up on it, hopefully. But it's unfortunate that they changed some of the terms for that sort of thing. But still, I know Trails fans have been trying to get one of their games onto a top 10 for a while, and I figured this was going to be their best bet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Trails in the Sky, first chapter at number 5. Let's go ahead and move on to our number 4 Switch 2 game so far. Beating out Trails by 148 points.
4's definitely not enough spaces.
I know. That's what I'm thinking too.
There's a lot that I'm throwing around right now. Bravely Default, Hitman, Split Fiction, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, DK. Maybe like Puyo Puyo, but probably not. I'll say Bravely Default one more time, but I feel like Street Fighter's probably coming up soon.
I, for some reason, am kind of feeling, and it probably maybe should place higher, but I am kind of feeling Street Fighter 6 for some reason. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
All right. At number 4, Ash, congratulations, you finally did it. Street Fighter 6.
Landed on it. Okay, nice.
Wonderful port. Absolutely wonderful. I got really into Street Fighter with the 3DS, Street Fighter 4 3D edition, and it was nice to sort of recapture that again with 6. Only like there's no compromises this time, really. Like the backgrounds aren't frozen anymore like they were on 3DS. It's just the raw Street Fighter 6. And like if you look really closely, you can see some DOSS artifacts, but when you're just in the midst of playing, you just get the unfiltered Street Fighter 6. And it was more than that for me, though, because PSN is expensive. So is Xbox, what do they call it? Game Pass Live, whatever they call it now. It's expensive, especially when you have multiple subscriptions every year. And so to just stick with NSO, like the cheapest one, I pay like £6 a year for NSO, and that's the expansion through the family plan. So it's nice just to have really accessible, cheap online. And it kept me playing Street Fighter 6, not only in a more accessible way, but in practically my only way I can online. So I love this port.
It's a really damn good port. I have it on PS5, so I haven't doubled it personally, but I have played it on some friend Switch 2s. And when I did, I was like, man, this is the real deal. This is Street Fighter 6. And if you've played it, it's a really damn good game. And I love this port. I love the game, period. And it deserves to be high up on this list for sure. It's one of these standard setting, I should say, Switch 2 third-party releases. And the fact that it was a launch title, and it comes with all the year 1 and 2 DLC characters and stages and stuff, that's an even better deal. And I think it's $40. And that's like
$60 if you're getting year 1 and 2, $40.
Oh, okay, it's okay. So either way, though, with or without year 1 and 2, it's a good price. You're getting a lot of content there.
Yeah, because it still has the world tour, and it's of course the DLC is still coming out. So we still have 2 more characters for season 3. So
Capcom are also pricing Resident Evil $10 cheaper, Requiem, and they're both game key cards, but it's a cool standard that they're putting a lot of effort into their games, both Street Fighter and Resident Evil, and also pricing them below, which is neat. They're doing a really good job so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I haven't heard a lot of is how does World Tour perform on Switch 2?
I have never booted up World Tour on Switch 2. I only play it online because
really? Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That is the one sticking point from what I understand. If I remember correctly, World Tour fights are 30 FPS.
Okay.
Which isn't great.
Yeah, that would be the same as PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
Then.
Yeah. So I mean that's not too surprising going for open world type thing with that, but you still have it. It's still there for like this is if you want to be able to play online wherever type thing. Maybe not have it may not be the premium version, but you still get it. And when it comes to it being on the top game of all time list, this will be across all versions. It's not going to be specific to the Switch 2 version. It's just going to be all versions in this case. That's the way it always is for games that have been on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
But still, as far as a Switch 2 game, it is a really impressive technical showcase of what the system can do. And I think Capcom learned that having a Street Fighter around the launch of a Switch system is a good idea because of how well Ultra Street Fighter 2 did.
Yeah,
I know,
right? It's nice to not have to go through a port of a 40-year-old game or whatever it is at this point now. Yeah. Because Switch never really got a 3D Street Fighter, did it? We only ever got Street Fighter 2 and then the anniversary games. And
that version of Street Fighter 2 is still locked to the Switch. It never got ported.
It's really funny. No Violent Ken for anyone else apart from Switch early adopters.
That might be for the best. Let's be honest. quite a broken addition to that game.
Mm-hmm. Still, I was waiting for this to make a list. It felt like come on, Street Fighter 6 needs to be here.
Yeah,
for sure.
So deserves it.
Glad to see it make it because, boy, I love this game. I have it on PS5 and I stopped paying for PSN, so I'm like, I'm waiting for I think I'm going to get it on PC eventually.
Okay.
But I'm waiting for like maybe a Super Street Fighter 6, I think is what I'm waiting for an official sense of that. So we'll see what happens. Either way, though, there's our number 4 Switch 2 game so far. And let's get to our top 3. And right off the bat, massive jump. Number 3, beating out Street Fighter 6 by 1,272 points.
It's because they're all Nintendo now, Ash. It's because it's Pokemon, it's Mario Kart. It's
but still, for that big a jump is wild. But yeah,
again, I mean, I figured only play so many games you're going to pick up the Nintendo games on a Nintendo system.
I am severely disappointed though at no Hitman, no Bravely, and no Puyo.
I am too. Bravely really hurts.
Yeah, because I think you can argue they're not the best versions of those games, but those games didn't make the list in any of their categories, so it would have been cool to have them there.
Mm-hmm. But the top 3 being likely what you just said, John, is exactly why I snuck Street Fighter 6 in there at number 4, because I was like, I don't think it's going to overcome the first party stuff, but it should be high on this list. But now the question is just, what is the order here?
I think Pokemon's here.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, I don't think Pokemon's overtaken the other 2.
Yeah, that's my feel as well.
Derrick's smirking. There was that smirk on his face.
I've sowed so much distrust in John from the way I mess with him. At number 3, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Okay.
All right.
Was pretty sure about that.
Yeah, and from everything I've heard, it's not perfect, but it seems really enjoyable because I've not picked it up myself yet. But everything I've seen from people really enjoy.
Apparently, it's canonically ZA in all regions. I've got to say ZA as well rather than ZA.
That's
weird.
Kind of a weird distinction, actually.
Yeah, I did not realize that.
I didn't either.
If they had voice acting, we could tell.
I loved what I played of it at PAX West, particularly the new battle system, very based on cooldown times and such. A little Xenoblade-y. I don't think Pokemon battles have ever felt slicker to me than what I played of Legends EA at PAX West. I haven't picked it up yet. It's just because there's too much to play. And as you know, I'm more of a casual Pokemon fan, and Arceus didn't quite do it for me. But I think this one might pull me in. I think I'm going to have to pick this one up just based on everything I've been hearing. My only concern is Lumio City sustaining my interest as a setting for an entire game. It seems like some of the city environments are a bit samey, but what this game does right seems like it's really worth showing up for.
I mean, every time, it's happened twice now, but every time Legends hits, it just seems to reignite a passion with people. With the first Legends, people were saying, like, this is the most fun I've had with Pokemon in years. And then ZA comes around and they say the same thing again. Like, it's just really fun. And maybe it's because the core formula's old at this point. It's been around for a long time. We've played them so many times. It's nice just to get that fresh perspective. What I wasn't expecting, though, was such a unanimous agreement that it's better than Arceus. I see that so often.
Wow.
And I am legit surprised because Arceus, I think has a more interesting setting. I think has more variety. and then you just get this one setting in Lumio City, but people feel more attached to it, which is a really interesting reaction that they managed to do so much with a smaller scope. Now, I'm not speaking for everyone there, but that's just something I've seen the most, and it's really interesting to see.
As with any Pokemon game, there's far-ranging opinions on it.
Of course,
it's always going to be the case. Interesting thing I've heard though is that they've technically brought back HMs, but not really. Where it's you don't need a specific move for getting like Rock Smash. Just have a fighting type move, and it will smash that rock. Which is a smart change. I think if you want to have that sort of as limitations, but also focus on what the Pokemon can do for you without having a specialized Pokemon that you bring out.
That's the Xenoblade 2 field skills, isn't it?
It is.
It is. Right. There you go. You know what? If that's all an indication that the next game from Monolith Soft is the next Pokemon mainline, sure.
Right.
Why not?
Also, if nothing else, I need to check this out just for the soundtrack, because Gen 6 is actually, unpopular opinion, I love Gen 6. I love the music in Gen 6, and I'm sure it's full of like great rearrangements from that generation. Kalos.
Yeah. I've also seen people really enjoy the photo mode and have the costumes that they can get. Obviously, with most of the codes being unisex, and there's some disappointment that they got rid of actual skirts and dresses and whatnot instead of going for the skirts and that sort of thing. But at least it's there. At least it is unisex for the most part and can enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, you are limited to just a town. I think personally, I might wait until the DLC to get a bundle type thing because as someone pointed out, Hoopa is the Pokemon they have. You go through a ring, you go to a brand new area. You're getting out of Lumiose thanks to Hoopa. So that's
a good way to approach it. Maybe wait for the DLC. Yeah.
And it is really interesting to finally get Z after all these years. Like it was so
It is
widely speculated that we're gonna get Pokemon Z. The anime was called Pokemon X, Y, and Z. Just didn't happen for whatever reason. And we finally got it after all these years, and it's acting like a sequel, that's rad.
Pick up 5 years later. This is what I wanted from Pokemon Black and White. Whenever they cover 5th gen, is I want them to pick up like this. So do that with that. We just continue the story of Black and White. Yes, please, let's do it.
Yeah.
Really throw a swerve and have us play as N.
That'd be cool.
All right, but yeah, Pokemon Legends ZA at number 3. So let's move on to our number 2 game of all time on the Switch so far. And I'm so used to saying all time, so bear with me. Beating out Pokemon Legends by 1,808 points.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I think this is Mario Kart World.
I think I know I want it to be Mario Kart World, and I'm going to try to manifest that as well. So I think
it's double downing.
Yeah.
Double down.
Double downing. And a double down is double right, because number 2 is Mario Kart World.
I do enjoy this game a lot. Online, it feels like constant negativity because there are things to be negative about.
Right.
But the core, I really enjoy. I play World Tour, Knockout Tour, I play Knockout Tour a lot in this game. I play with my daughter a lot in this game. She loves the open world aspect. It's cool just to roam around endlessly without really having an objective, just chilling, just not falling off the edge, just being able to chill out with the world. That stuff's cool. She doesn't need an objective. I think that's something that is great for a lot of kids. They can just make their own objectives, and that's lost on a lot of adults. Like we're like, where's the object? What do we do here? Whereas kids just have fun. I think that really fulfills that world. But as with a lot of racing games and fighting games, I play it online. That's really all I ever do. And I wish it had just a classic 3-lap option. I do, but I love Knockout Tour so much that I find myself keep coming back just for little sessions, nearly every day. It does a lot of stuff well. I love the parkour. I love doing multiple tricks in the air, even though it doesn't really do much. It's just nice to be able to do something while you're flailing around in the air for a while. Very expressive, very bouncy style. I think it's wonderful.
There's so much to really like about Mario Kart World. As you said, the graphical style, going for the more bouncy look, the more cartoonish look, the softer look. It's a very pleasing style. The parkour is interesting and a fun update. I like the fact that you can you get a little bit of wave race in there when you go over the water. was a wonderful moment where somebody set up a bomb and it's caused a huge explosion,
like a
and I was able to use that like that wave in order to get another boost.
Blue shells do that too, like a big splash in the water, and everyone behind it just goes like flying in the air. It's really cool.
There's some really cool moments in there.
Yeah.
But the core of it is like, as far as like the core racing aspect, as far as the tracks and whatnot, that's where you kind of lose a bit of it, where it's like, okay. And then you get to open world, it's like, okay, does that really add a lot? And again, my son, same way, loves going around just the world, exploring, doesn't need to have an objectives. He just likes, he loved collecting all the costumes with me. He wanted to get all the costumes.
Of course.
So he's all about that. This feels like a game that can be built upon.
Totally.
Definitely.
Like I feel like that's it's gonna come at some point where there's just, here's more stuff, and you get that more
just
stuff.
Throw Woohoo Island in the water somewhere.
That's exactly.
Yeah. No, the core racing feels as great as it ever has. I think Mario Kart World gets into a little bit of trouble when you try to compare it. I think a lot of people expected it to supplant Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it doesn't. Straight up, it doesn't. It exists alongside it, offering a different kind of Mario Kart experience, but it doesn't supersede 8 Deluxe in any way. And I think maybe people were kind of expecting it to. And so I think that's kind of where it gets into a little bit of hot water. But I think on its own and taken for what it offers in a vacuum, it's a great game, and it could certainly be built off of, as you guys are saying. You know, I have kind of, I like you, John, for a while. I was playing Knockout Tour almost every day, just a round or two. I've kind of stopped doing that now, and part of that may be due to Cross Worlds, but part of it might just be because I've just lost a little bit of interest.
Yeah.
But I'll also say that this moment they like announced the first big update in terms of new content, or they add new Knockout Tours or whatever, I'll be first in line to jump right back in. I think it's a great game. I just need a little something new to bring me back, I think. But I think what's here is still pretty great.
I think what's invited all of the real examination of this game is the cost. It's $80.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, this doesn't feel like an $80 game.
No.
It doesn't, honestly.
There's not enough stuff in there, because you look at, again, Mario Kart 8, originally released on this, like when it came to Switch, the original Switch, as deluxe, $60. And then you got the booster course pass, $25. So $85 for everything that Mario Kart 8 has, and that feels premium. You look at all the stuff in Mario Kart 8. Yeah, that feels like it would be an $85 game. Yeah. With all that stuff in there. Maybe a little overpriced, but it is also Nintendo, so that's the way it goes. And that's the fear. Okay, we get new courses or new stuff or a new island or a new place to explore in Mario Kart World. How much are they going to charge? Is it going to be the $20? Now it's $100 game to get up.
Right.
I mean, we just had like $20 Donkey Kong DLC that didn't really have much substance to it as well.
Exactly.
That is true. Yeah.
It's a lot of the small things that are missing that bug me. So I just playing with friends is quite difficult now. It's not as simple as it used to be. Tournaments aren't as simple as they used to be, and there's stuff missing. Battle mode, it's just balloon and coin again. And it feels like there's a lot more areas in that world that could just be battle maps, but they aren't. There's 8 of them. You can make way more than that out of what's there. And I think in the future we're going to reflect on World. I think it's going to be in a very different place. But yeah, right now it's a really good game, but it not reaching the potential it could have. That said, though, on most Nintendo systems, I don't think there's really one, apart from maybe the Wii U, where I would include a Mario Kart in the top 10, because they're always high quality, they're always really good, they're always a constant of the generation. But there's usually 10 other games I put ahead of a Mario Kart game, and I think that's very much going to be the case 2 years from now with the Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure Mario Kart World was going to end up at number 2, certainly in the top 3. But personally, and like in my own list, I would have knocked down a few placements to get some other games in here above it. But I still think it's a great game at its core. One more little knock I have against it, though, and this is something Nintendo does in pretty much all their games, and I know you're watching, Nintendo, so take notes. Just think of all the money they spent on this incredible soundtrack and how huge it is. Just let me turn up the music. It's a sound effect slider. Just give me a sound effect slider for all your games, because
how about a radio so you can actually select the music?
Away, like, nope.
Which is crazy. Like, y'all know the incredible breadth of this soundtrack, and they did brand new reorchestrations and rearrangements of like music from every game in the Mario universe, but you can't hear any of it in the game when you're playing. It's so annoying. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
But yeah, there's Mario Kart World at number 2. So let's get to our number 1 game on the Switch 2. I think we all saw this one coming.
Hitman.
Well, I think it's a game that starts with a D, so I'm going to say Dragon Drive.
Yeah, Dragon Drive.
Here's the question, since we know what it is. How many points did it beat Mario Kart World by?
Another 1,000.
Man, I'll go a little more.
We'll do Prices Right. We'll do Prices Right rules on this one.
I'll say 600.
All right, John, you are the closer one without going over.
Okay, nice.
By 1,076 points.
Wow.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Not even
1.
close.
I went too conservative. It's DK. I should never have gone conservative.
Yeah. Always put it all in when it comes to DK. That's why I always say.
Yep.
I mean, I'll be honest. This was the game that convinced me that I need to include the Switch 2, because I feel like this is worth the discussion. I know there's people out there who did not get into this game, but this feels like something special.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this game. It's tremendous. I mean, it's personally, I at the end of the day, when the dust settled, I liked it more than Odyssey, or at least I enjoyed it more than Odyssey. This game is just, it is the number 1 reason I think to own a Switch 2. Clearly that's reflected in our list here. I never knew I needed DK and Kid Pauline as like the happy counterpart to the sad dad games we've been seeing proliferate recently, but I just love it. I everything about this game. The destructible terrain, it just feels good to play. The haptics are fantastic. It's nice and beefy. I shouldn't probably use that in reference to a DK game. It's nice. It's nice, and there's just a lot of content here, let's say, but without feeling like it overstays its welcome. It's not perfect what game is, but it's my number 2 game of the year still, and I loved pretty much every second I spent with this game.
There was a tall order in making this game, because we haven't had a 3D DK since 64, and DK 64 is basically another Banjo game, really. So properly converting Donkey Kong to 3D hasn't really been done, not by Nintendo at least. And it's interesting how they went about it, because they basically, they gave him the Mario toolbox, but they didn't give him Mario's moves. There's no triple jump. There's, he's not really versatile on his own. So it's really interesting using the grabbing mechanics, which is something that's existed since the arcade with the barrels. And just being able to take any terrain and use that as platforming with the chunk jump, or by surfing on it. And it's interesting what you can do platforming wise with that, because you never really it never expects you to platform that much. It's quite a well put together world that you can usually walk around. But if you want to go advanced and surf and chunk jump off an edge and grab something else and climb, you can do that. And I think when you understand, when you unlock that capability, you get a totally different game. And it's something that I found I've returned to and played differently to my first playthrough, and I just found this newfound respect for DK. And I already respected it a ton, but there's so many layers in there, but both technically and in the progression of going through layers.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a much bigger game than you would ever expect. There's so many different worlds. They are pretty involved, especially the further on you go and see what you get. The Bonanza forms are all a lot of fun. I know people are huge on the last one, but I still have my enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I've spoken about this before, so I won't go too in depth in it. This is the game I played with my son.
Yeah.
His 4-year-old son has beaten Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's crazy.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, he did most of the stuff. I helped him with the bosses, but he did
it's still crazy.
He did a lot of he learned how to do to do the punches, how to grab stuff, how to throw things, how to he figured out the mechanics. And granted, that's assist mode to get him through all that stuff, but it still was a great time. And he hasn't really played much since. It hasn't he beat the game, and a new game hasn't really come out that's caught his attention. So he's been doing other things, but It's just been that's a special moment, especially getting to the end with him, and getting coming at it from two different perspectives.
Oh yeah,
right there, where I'm getting something way different out of this ending than he is, but I can still see him enjoying it. And I hope it becomes a sort of memory for him that he remembers how that whole ending went. And I don't want to go into it or anything like that.
It's one of the best endings in Nintendo's entire run, though. It's so
it's a hell of a
easily
climax.
Not even it is easily an all-timer.
All I will say is it does not involve a boss with a giant head and two floating hands.
It's a high standard for Nintendo, but they did manage to shake it. Derrick, you are DK and your son is Pauline. It's a bond formed.
Ever since we played that game, anytime I'm leaning down to like tie my shoe or anything like that, he climbs up on my back.
That's so sweet.
So I feel like he's doing that. I feel like he got that from. But he's a big fan of Pauline. He started reading a bit more. Like he was picking out the words Pauline was saying. Like the game actually taught him quite a bit. So it's just, again, it's special to me for that reason. But even just playing myself, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
One of my favorite moments.
There is no reason to do it, but all of us spent like a good hour in that first level where you get nothing, just eating into the world.
It's just fun. Ash mentioned the haptics earlier, but they're really subtle. Well, like if you punch like something soft, you feel like a little rumble, and if you punch something hard, if you're paying attention, you'll feel it. If you're not, you won't really. But there's just this subconscious reaction in the rumble when you hit certain things, and that's great. But one of my favorite moments in this game, it's a very small moment, when you go into the sort of volcanic area and it's like raining down lava, and the game doesn't really tell you what to do, but there's like a little hint of like an umbrella or something, and the way you get around that is by picking a bit of terrain and using it like an umbrella above your head. So clever. Such a clever moment.
Yep, that was really a cool moment. I agree. And this game just does everything so well, down to the tiniest details. I went out of my way to find and create every refuge that I could, because I needed to hear every single conversation between. Well, I say conversation. It's more like Pauline talking at DK, but still, I needed to hear every single one because they're just such a charming pair. And I would be so happy to play as this duo in another game going forward.
Same. So there is our top 10 Switch 2 games so far. I think it's a decent list. I think there's definitely some things I'd swap out here and there, but for the most part, I think it's a good representation of the system so far. Obviously, Nintendo stuff is going to stand out more. For reference sake, we did have some other games that people did not get the memo that repeats do not count, so we still got repeat votes. If with that in mind, Hollow Knight Silk Song would have been number 4. Hades 2 would have been number 5. Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World would have been number 7.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And Cyberpunk 2077 would have been number 11. So Fast Fusion would have been our number 10.
Okay.
It's interesting. I guess some people were aware about the repeat vote rule, but Silk Song I would have expected to beat Pokemon at the very least.
I think it's because, again, some people know not to vote for that, some people don't, and then that's just how it ended up. That being said, you want to hear our top 50 out of 73 games? We only have so much time, so I'll have to go through this quickly.
Where's Survival Kids at?
So, again, we had the chance whether we left War of the Lions on or Evil East Chronicles on. We decided to leave Evil East Chronicles on, and that way Daxter got promoted on the PSP. If we had chosen to leave War of the Lions on instead of Evil East Chronicles, our new number 10, our number 11 Switch 2 game was Yooka Replayly.
Oh,
really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no hate against Yooka Replayly. I love what I played of it on PS5, but it's so new. And I just wouldn't think that Yooka would be that popular so quickly.
It is a very interesting game, though, because like the original, I don't jive with that much. I think it's neat, but I can't really play it for that long. I get bored. Whereas Replayly, a totally different game.
It is.
They redid it so well.
I haven't picked it myself, but I watched Ant Dude's video on it. I did not realize they doubled the amount of pages you get per world. I didn't realize they got rid of the expanding mechanic for the level, so you don't have to go back into it. there's a lot of really smart changes into this that make it seem like, yeah, I think I do want to check this out.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested now.
Yeah.
So almost made it. Number 12, Pac-Man World 2 Repack.
Oh, nice. You know, I'm this is on my list to pick up. Daniel reviewed it for us. He enjoyed it for the most part, but as with a lot of remasters of old games, it doesn't quite capture the vibe again. And there's a few new edition stuff. It's just really difficult. But the core Pac-Man World 2 is excellent though, and just making that accessible is always a cool thing.
They went out of their way for this one. They changed, from my understanding, they changed up some of the bosses. They changed up. They added voice acting. The post game is completely new. So
that's what I've heard. Yeah, I've always wanted to play these games. I never did back in their day, but you know me, I love a good 3D platformer. So these are on my list, kind of like yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking up Pac-Man World 2 at some point. So that's definitely on a list. But at number 13, here is Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD remaster.
Should have been higher.
I guess
should have been higher.
I think it's because it's another remake, but when you look at what was changed about Yooka-Ree Playly and Pac-Man World and Final Fantasy Tactics, not much changed in comparison.
No, are you voting for it as Bravely Default, or are you voting for it as Bravely Default, the Switch 2 game? Because as the Switch 2 game, you know, I think the mouse mini games are really cool, but it looks like a 3DS game, and it was so strange to have that at retail at launch. And it's not even definitive because the 3D effect was really nice in the original, and the pounds don't look as nice in the HD versions. It's a funny one.
Yeah. At number 14, Rune Factory Guardians of Ozma.
This
I almost voted for this at number 10. I almost did.
Had a lot of goodwill because it was on a game card at launch.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
I heard it was pretty solid. I have not dived into the Rune Factory series, but generally people seem to be pretty happy with this one. So yeah. Very cool choice right there. Number 15, a lot of people pulling for this one because unless Wildcard pulls through, we do not have a single game in this series in the top 10. Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV. I think no Mario Parties are made it into a top 10. And I think people like Jamboree. I don't think Jamboree TV is enough to make it into like a high ranking Switch 2 list. So that's why I think that's why it didn't make the top 10, because I honestly think people would be mostly judging it as the Switch, as the base game rather than the edition.
For me, much like Mario Kart, Mario Party is just a constant. It's something you pull out when you're playing with friends, but it's not a top 10 material for me.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of a single console that I would put a Mario Party game in the top 10.
No, I'm saying the same for me. I enjoy them. They are great games to pull out and play with friends, but as far as like the best of the system, not really. Not for me. I understand if it is. I mean, I get it, because that party atmosphere, that fun with friends can define a game so much. But yeah, as far as Jamboree and Jamboree TV, not quite enough. So number 16, Hitman World of Assassination.
I was pulling for this one because it's a huge shame it didn't make the other lists, and I didn't play this generation of Hitman until the Switch 2. This version's flawed. Like the frame rate was unlocked at launch. They patched it to be 30 with a unlock variable if you want it. I played in handheld mode mostly though with VRR, and I loved it. I got to play through Hitman 1 and 2, making my way through 3 at the moment. And it's super impressive seeing those massive crowds on the Switch 2. And just the Hitman loop is incredible. It's a huge shame it didn't make PS4 or Xbox One, and it's a shame that it didn't get its redemption here. Yeah,
it got close. It got up there, but man, the new idea behind Hitman was really good. I was actually kind of surprised that they didn't just take James Bond and translate him into this when they were making that game, because it was like, oh, that makes complete sense. You just Bond in this situation instead of an assassin. But yeah, there's just something fun about going into each one and like figure like, okay, here's your basic way to do it. Okay, now find all kinds of variations of how you could do it.
Yeah, very replayable. Yeah,
a lot of mini sandbox elements. At number 17. Dragon Drive.
It's not that bad, but Dragon Drive is treated like a butt of a joke. I think it's cool if you treat it like it's meant to be a system, defining game, it's not cool.
No.
But if you treat it like just this little mouse tech demo with pretty fun mechanics, it's good in that regard. Doesn't have the content to last, but it's not that bad.
It's a cool proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe people were expecting something maybe more along the level of ARMS, and it's definitely not that in terms of content. But I do like its experimental vibe for sure.
Yeah. I think I just don't think there's enough. There's not a lot of content there, and you get the Nintendo tax to make it a little bit more pricey when you compare it to other indies, just to indies in general. So I think it just ended up the butt of a joke because of that. The pricing for Nintendo is definitely wonky right now.
Yeah.
Number 18, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
Okay.
Zelda Notes was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting it to be. It's nice to get all this lore about the world. There's like an hour of new voice acting in these Switch 2 editions. There's quite a bit in there.
They added a lot, yeah.
That's impressive.
At first, I wasn't really. It didn't dawn on me just how much they added with Zelda Notes. I thought it'd be like a few things here and there. They really went in and added a bunch.
It did.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I haven't had a chance to check it out myself, but because I saw an app to go along with it, I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it does. It feels a bit weird, but once you're doing it, there's quite a lot of it in there.
Yeah. At number 19, No Sleep for Kaname Date from I, the Somnian Files.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. This is another one I could see people hoping to get an I, Somnian Files game in the top 10, but not quite there. I heard this is a sort of a shorter spin-off, but people still really enjoy it. They love Somnian Files, so there you go. Brandon certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah, he loved it.
Number 20, Split Fiction.
Oh, man. This was another one. I
would have expected. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play this when it came out because I think I was just busy with other stuff, and I played it when Switch 2 came out. And this was like when it came out, it was heralded as like Game of the Year contender, and I think it definitely is. It's super imaginative, very very fun, and it's some of the best writing I think video games have had for a while as well. It's hard to write sort of like young adult characters in a convincing way, and it manages to do it really well. Yeah. Great port of a great game.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to playing this one. I'm waiting because my wife and I are still playing through It Takes Two. So that's really the only reason I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, fair enough. At number 21, Fortnite.
It's a good version now. The Switch 1 version definitely fell behind a bunch.
It's Fortnite's just not made a top 10. It's just not what our audience plays.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. We got a tie for 22 between Yakuza 0, Director's Cut, and Deltarune.
All right.
Yeah.
So surprised Deltarune's on a little higher.
Actually, I just realized Deltarune should probably be cut. Because I don't think that's a Switch 2 version. I didn't even think about that.
There was a Switch. Right. There was a Switch 2.
Oh no, there is a Switch 2 version because it has mouse controls. So yeah, never mind. It does count. I forgot about the mouse stuff.
Yeah,
that it got.
Yakuza 0 had like a whole online mode, which was strange but cool.
Oh yeah, first time I got English voice acting as well.
Playable characters or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very impressive. Let's see. At 24, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess.
I really want to play this. I didn't
realize it was basically a tower defense game.
Yeah, the reason I want to play it is because you can dynamically go between traditional controls and mouse controls, and when you go mouse controls, you can get like this, like an RTS kind of view. So you can move around like a PC game, and then go back to regular controls where it's hack and slash. Like all other versions work like that, but they're not dynamic in that way. And that sounds like a really cool Switch 2 showcase. So I'm just waiting for a good price for that one.
Yeah. Also, a good chance for a smaller game to get maybe a bit more attention at a console launch.
Yeah, I played it at Summer Game Fest, and the tower defense stuff wasn't quite my vibe, but it's still a really unique experience, and there's literally nothing else like it out there. So yeah, it's definitely kind of a standout title for that alone, and I was curious where it was going to land on this list.
Number 25, Raito Remastered: The Mystery of the Soulless Army.
There's Raito.
I haven't had a chance to play this one. I do want to pick it up because action RPG version of Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah, I'm down. especially with all the improvements it's made.
I have played this one. It's like a different game almost because they changed the combat system a lot. Changed the visuals a lot too, because it was like pre-rendered backgrounds a lot of the time on PS2, and now it's all fully 3D. So it's one of those remakes that sort of stands aside rather than replaces. But yeah, it's a cool one.
At number 26, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
All right.
Yeah, more of the same of Tears of the Kingdoms one.
Yep. 27, Sonic X Shadow Generations.
All right.
Cool port. Yeah.
Yeah.
No free upgrade for some reason. No upgrade at all, which is strange. But
dumb.
Right.
28, Star Wars Outlaws.
All right.
Like the most impressive game on Switch 2 right now.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I'm sure at first, but when
it.
you really dug into it,
they do keep updating it. Yeah, it's a ray tracing game, so everything is lit by ray tracing. So it's the only game that really shows that Switch 2 can do ray tracing, and it does it really well. There's a demo now for those curious.
That's nice. That's definitely good.
Nice.
At 29, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunin Unification Wars. That's
another bizarre one with no upgrade. Because there's no upgrade at all. It's 30 on Switch 1 for some reason. I'm sure it could have done 60. But you got to pay full price again if you want the Switch 2 one. Bizarre. Great games, but just bizarre choices.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a good HD remaster from everything I've heard. I've not picked it up myself yet, but I've heard really good things. Number 30, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar.
I'm not so sure about this one. I haven't had very many things.
I think they've added, this is a remake of I believe a DS or a 3DS title back when it was Harvest Moon. So obviously the update there. And I think this might, I don't know, but this might be the first Story of Seasons with voice acting.
Okay.
So
I'll certainly take your word for it. My eyes kind of glaze over when we get into farming sims. I'm like, yeah.
Fair enough. Number 31, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Another series never made it into the top 10, but I think it is because it's more of an American type thing.
Yeah, maybe.
So, at 32, Shadow Labyrinth. This is a neat game.
That was a very neat game.
This fell through the cracks for me. I need to play this.
It's lengthy too.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love that as much, but yeah.
It's definitely another one of those. It's another one of those Metroidvanias that go long.
Okay.
We've had a year of like retro revival Metroidvanias. Now there's this. Like we also had the return of like Ninja Gaiden and all these other things. Pretty packed. Yeah.
I mean, Shinobi was kind of a stealth.
Yeah.
Metroidvania. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 33, Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion.
I played the first Switch game. It didn't jive with me much. So this one passed me by.
But I've heard this one is better. Like it actually is jiving with people much more than the original, which is good. I think it clicks with its audience, but otherwise it definitely seemed to just go by.
Yeah.
Number 34, No Man's Sky.
Oh, this was a wonderful update. They redid the entire like a brand new version. It's like a free update as well. It's like one of the best ones they had at launch. Really impressive.
Nice. I've heard from you that it's a good version, so that's always cool. 35, Sid Meier's Civilization 7.
I want to play it. I do. Yeah. I want a lot of PC games on the Switch too. So when there's a good price for this, I'll pick it up.
Good showcase for the mouse, theoretically.
Yeah.
So hopefully still quite good. But yeah. 36, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
It's a shame we haven't really had a Puyo Puyo in the top 10, have we? I can remember.
Unless you count Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, I guess I do. I do count that. Yeah.
So that's our one and only. We just gotta have We have to have Eggman attached. That's the only way to have it.
I do think Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is a contender for maybe being a best game on a platform, but this version, it was too expensive and didn't do enough. It's just the same thing again.
And again, no upgrade path.
Yeah.
So, number 37, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 38, Chronos: The New Dawn, which I've heard good things from. It's good. Bluebird's finally on a roll.
Yeah, they've redeemed themselves.
They've seen their struggle early on, but they finally got into something. So
yeah,
I've heard good things. Actually tied with Chronos at 38, Persona 3 Reload, which has already made another one, but just came out again this last week. Same with Pokemon, so it's new on the Switch too. But I've played it; it's good. I know people have talked about some like frame dips and whatnot, but I didn't notice it from the time I played so far. So it seems to run perfectly fine for me.
Yeah, they could have done better with it, I think, but it's portable Persona 3 Reload. That's always,
and a lot of people just prefer the Personas portable. So
yeah,
right.
I think the one other big mistake for it was not including the DLC. I think that would have given it a lot more value on Switch 2.
Yeah,
but either way, number 40, Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. This is a really
cool
good
little game. Yeah, I like this game.
This one surprised me because I never got into a Saga game before.
Same.
And having played this, it's just again, another one that's really shocked me. Just a lot of fun. Highly recommended if you're looking for an RPG.
I remember when John and I previewed DQ3 HD and this at Gamescom last year, and I'm guessing both of us, but I know I went into it thinking like, okay, I can't wait to play DQ, and then we kind of have to play this other game too. But then I was like, damn, I really enjoyed my time with Romancing Saga 2, and I didn't get it. I don't have the time to play the full game, but if I did, I'd pick it up because I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I only experienced it because we got a sponsorship for it. And I'm like,
oh, that's
okay,
right,
I'll check it out. And then I'm like, oh damn, this is actually really good. Number 41, The Tourist Deluxe.
Oh yeah, Sheenen are always on top of it, aren't they? They never miss.
Yeah. I've not tried the Tourist before, but I've heard decent things. 42, I wasn't sure if I should count this or not. I figured, what the heck. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales demo.
Why not? Why not? At 42, why not?
Game, man.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this demo sold me and then some. I am so looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. At 43, Arcade Archives 2, Ridge Racer.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. Sure, why not?
Why not? Number 44, Mina the Hollower demo.
Okay. This is how we got to 70-something games then, huh?
The only 3 demos made the list and 2 Arcade Archives, so there's that. Number 45, Lego Voyagers.
I want to play that, actually. That looks really neat. It's one of those that's priced a little bit too high, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah. 46, Disgaea 7 Complete.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Actually, I want to check one thing real quick before I say the next thing. Yep. Okay. Messed up. We have one less game as part of the list.
Okay.
I forgot to check if UFO 50 was actually on
the Switch 1.
The Switch 2, but no, it is the Switch 1 version. So there's only 72 games as part of this list. And our actual 47 is Survival Kids.
Okay. I'm so curious how that game actually is. I've heard nothing. Nobody said anything about Survival Kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. At 48, we have a new 48 because I messed up. A tie between East 10 Proud Nordics and Power Wash Simulator 2.
Yes, Power Wash made it.
a game that just came out and a game that's only out in Japan.
I was about to say East 10 hasn't been localized yet. I am curious because that's a 120 hertz game. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll jump in when that comes out.
Yeah.
I'm just glad someone besides me remembered to nominate Power Wash 2 because it just came out last Thursday. Yeah.
And at number 50, Madden NFL 26.
All right.
Our first Madden to make it into a top 50.
Okay.
Congrats, Madden.
Yeah.
To just quickly go down the rest of it, since we are a little low on time. Shape Hero Factory, tied with Tamagotchi Plaza. The Exit 8. Little Nightmares 3, tied with WWE 2K25. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. Apex Legends, tied with the SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide demo and Chillin' by the Fire and Nobunaga's Invision Awakening Complete. High on Life, tied with Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition, Complete Edition. Dark 82, tied with EA Sports FC 26. Handy Hockey, tied with Kukuyomi 4, Consider It. NBA 2K26 and Wild Hearts S. Bokura Planet with 3 points. Borderlands 4 with 2 points, which are tied with Hurdling. And finally, with 1 point, Arcade Archives 2 Aquajet.
I'm afraid we have to get rid of another game. Borderlands 4 has not released on the Switch 2 yet.
Has it not? Oh, crap.
No, it got delayed.
Oh, I thought it would. For some reason, I had the idea that it was.
It's out on other platforms. The Switch 2 version got delayed a little bit later.
Oh, there's tons of, okay. For some reason I thought, yeah, it's on Switch too. I thought I heard somebody talk about it. So never mind. So yeah, 71 games on the list, 3 of which are demos, and 2 of which are arcade archives. So whatever.
I had to look this up after you said it, just because it stood out to me. Handy Hockey. I'm like, what is that? I looked it up.
It's a DSi game, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks. It looks kind of fun. Like, it looks like a kind of a fun, just like simple air hockey game for you, like you and a friend. It looks kind of neat.
That's one of the few 120 hertz games that exist.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, cool.
That's really funny. But yeah, there we go. There's our lineup of Switch 2 games. We got it. We did it. that's there it is.
Those are 50 Switch 2 games.
Yep. There they are.
It's so interesting to kind of think and just kind of almost try to predict, if we did this list just a month and a half from now, how different it would look.
Oh, obviously the 3 other Nintendo games would be on this list.
Clearly.
Without a
doubt. Yeah, it's just, but where would they all fall is where I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is what I'm curious about. Like, you got that 1-2-3 punch with Zelda and Metroid and Kirby. And it's just, where are they all going to fit? It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
It's not going to stop either. Like, we're going to get Direct in, a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. It's going to give
January,
you the
February, wherever. They'll show off more. There'll be more games. There'll
There's
always be that next game coming out that we should have waited for that one to come out.
Yeah.
That's the reason that we did it now. Yeah. Like, we could have just not done Switch 2, but there's always going to be, don't do it now because that game's coming, or that game's coming, that game's coming. There's always going to be the case. But I am interested to revisit, maybe it's a discussion separate of this, just of the stuff, what our top 10 Switch 2 games are like a year from now.
I agree.
It's going to be a radically different landscape.
It will be. Yeah. It will be. All right. So that is it for that. We'll be back next week with our Gen 9 multi-platform. Feels like it's going to be interesting with that one is, because we've already had so many multi-platform games between the Switch 2, the Series X, the PS5.
Yeah.
It's like, it almost feels redundant, but I'm committed to the bit.
Can Gen 9 multi-platform have cross-gen games, or is it just exclusively Gen 9 games?
What do you mean cross-gen? Like,
as in not on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One?
Yeah.
So Street Fighter 6, for example, is a PS4 game as well. Would that count in cross-gen?
It would count in cross-gen, because it's as long as it's on the PS5, the Series X, or the Switch 2, it counts.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So there's that there it is. So that's gonna be a fun one, just because feels like we've cleared out so many others, so it's another chance for others to sort of take this, just see where they end up.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's our list. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it despite any reservations you might have, but we do appreciate it nonetheless. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to GVG, hitting the like button, and ringing that bell. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/GVGaming with plenty of extra perks. So until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.